is the story of a survivor of human trafficking who's currently a student at the University of Utah. Fortunately, she was one of the few who was rescued from the sex trade. I will be reading her story due to her legal expectation of privacy. At 5 years old, I was sold as a sex slave by my father, with other children, boys and girls. I was raped morning to night, day after day. Many times I was raped to the point where I could no longer walk.
Well, sex slavery is when one person has control over another for exploitation. So it's pretty much forced sex upon an individual, whether they can be a child or an adult, male or female.
I did not know as a 5-year-old what drugs were. I just knew they made me sick and numb to many things. I was beaten if I did not perform sexual behavior to customers correctly. And I was starved, often as punishment or lack of resources.
Kids, teenagers, women, they are drugged, they're beaten, they're starved. They are forced to do and perform sexual behaviors, and a lot of the younger kids are trained that way.
My first memory of death was when I was 6 years old. A girl my same age, height, and weight was being raped in the same room that I was in by 3 men. My wrists and ankles were chained to a metal post, and my mouth was covered with a cloth. I could not help her. Her tiny body was no match for 3 strong men. I watched her cry in pain and scream for mercy. Her entire body was sexually tortured, beaten, until life left her.
They're not treated with any type of respect. It's very, very, very abusive. And it's extreme. It's getting worse. I mean, before, when it started, it was just more of, rape. But now the rape is it's gone to more of a sexual torture. So they just torment the bodies of these women.
The 3 men laughed at the whole experience. They mocked her screaming in agony and cried for help. They joked back and forth between one another about her tortured body, her innocence, and how they wished they would have filmed to be able to replay the good memory. They continued to molest and rape her corpses until there was absolutely nothing left.
Most of these people, when they're interviewed, they'll admit that they've looked at pornography for years and years and years. Some when they were like 10 years old, 14 years old. Some spend 40 hours a week looking at pornography. Some spend, 60 hours a week. I mean, every person that we've been interviewing, they'll say that they have a porn addiction.
I often wonder when it would be my turn, when I would break. I was heartbroken from this event and sometimes wished I was that girl so I could be free from all of this. But instead, I lived.
One therapy that I've seen really helpful, it's called dialectical behavior therapy, and it teaches them how to deal with their past, not really ignore it or get rid of it, but just how to process it, understand it, and then how to make correct choices so that they have a better future.
I was eventually rescued at the age of 16. I had a total of 82 broken bones. Many had healed by themselves, but needed to be rebroken for correct healing. I was addicted to 16 different drugs. I had liver, kidney, lung, brain, and heart damage. I had multiple diseases and many psychological and behavioral complications. My recovery will be a lifetime, and I will work every day towards improving myself.
Here in Utah, we're actually really lucky because we do have an organization set up that fights against human trafficking, which is really awesome. They're called OUR, it's Operation Underground Railroad, and they plan rescue missions. And it's really difficult, I think, for a lot of people to get involved because of I won't say secrecy, but privacy that is required for victims that are rescued, and also the missions themselves. The more funding they get, the more rescues and missions that they can plan and execute, and the more kids they can actually bring home, and the more recovery they can provide.
Currently, I am healthy and free from drugs. I have a full-time job doing legal work, which I love. I have found a family and made many friends. I spend my free time skiing, drawing, dancing, cooking, and volunteering to help others who have been human trafficked. Having the opportunity to get a real education and be a student at the University of Utah is very exciting for me. I am now the first person in my entire family to graduate high school and have an associate degree, and to be working towards a bachelor's degree. I am so lucky.